Boom.
We're live.
You're live.
That's what it said. I guess we're live. How you guys doing? It's been a minute.
It's been about a month.
About a month.
Last time we did this was Mother's Day weekend, I think.
Yeah.
So, hello everybody.
It's almost Father's Day weekend now.
Yeah, is that next
I
weekend?
think it's next week, yeah.
I know we got that Juneteenth thing coming up too.
Yeah.
That just means that the gym will be unmanned. That's what it means.
Right. That's all it means to us now.
Hi, Jason. How are you? I've been enjoying my chaga tea from Jason. Thank you very much. It's good to have good friends. I appreciate it. He always sends the most thoughtful things.
Yeah.
He's a very thoughtful person.
And just true to character, every time we do a live, it's raining. The weather here doesn't disappoint. It's raining again. The second time today it's raining.
This weather's just been cuckoo-luku, I think.
Yeah.
I hope everybody's having a good day and has had a good month for that matter. And thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
It's either hot or raining or both. I know it was a couple of days ago, I went out for a walk around the neighborhood, not even thinking, and it was like half an hour and I didn't bring water and it was so hot. It was in the 90s. I didn't think I'd make it back. I was looking for shade trees to hide under, hang out with the deers, But you got to be very careful. Make sure you stay hydrated, get your electrolytes. I was always on top of that when I was delivering mail, but now I've forgotten all the essential stuff I learned.
Yeah.
So, not used to being in it anymore.
So we've been, I guess, steady busy, I'll call it. We have a few projects that we've been doing, but
Hi, John.
we have been just hanging out here at the house. We've been on the lake a couple times, I believe, and getting some bigger projects done. Like that boat project was pretty big.
Oh my gosh. I wish we would have done that in Florida for sure.
Yeah.
Like, that was rough.
But at least we had a good place to do it. Like, you could do a little bit and then stop, and you don't have to move the boat in and out of the garage. You can work on it right there in the garage. So it was nice having a good place to work on it, and you didn't have to move things around too much.
Like to move a few things around. It was too cramped, I thought.
It's a little crowded on a couple of things, but yeah, we worked around it. I think it came out really good, though. I'm pretty pleased with the results. Yeah.
That it did. But I definitely don't want to do any more.
No.
Well, there's a lot of things with my back that I don't want to do anymore.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't really take much anymore. So those are the joys. But I am definitely glad it's over. It ended up being quite the chore.
We've done a couple of other things. A couple of videos haven't come out yet, but I did one I did do. There's been maintenance on the Jeep where I had to do an adjustment to the emergency brake.
Oh my gosh.
That was tedious, but it
really needed to be done for a long time too,
Yeah.
Because it's been a nightmare, especially the biggest place you have a problem with it is on the boat ramp.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like major anxiety. And the last time it happened was the worst. And every time Brett's running for the Jeep as it starts going in the water. And the last time it went in the water more than it's ever done. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I couldn't believe it.
But the tailpipe didn't
Lots
go
of
in the
anxiety.
water, so.
A lot of anxiety.
Yeah. So Teresa's in the boat when we launch. And then usually I just have to go behind the Jeep and unhook it. Now, one time worked really well was I unhooked it before going down the Jeep, going down the ramp. So then all you had to do was get to the water, hit the brakes, and let the boat roll off. But there's some inherent risk with that. The ramp is kind of steep, and could the boat slide off? I don't think so. But all the weight of the boat with you being in the boat is all in the back. So, I mean,
what were you trying to say, buddy?
I'm saying that with the motor and you and most of the seating, the battery. I mean, there's no weight in the front of the boat, really.
I'm picking up what you're throwing down.
It's not just you, it's all of that together. So,
Good
but anyway,
times.
it's been good. There's I did finally fix that flat tire on the Jeep, so that's a video. It hasn't come out yet. And then we had an issue with the new refrigerator, but we've resolved that too. And that video will be coming out. That was one that we fixed here at the house. We didn't have to get any parts, and we didn't have to pay anybody or buy anything, so that was a good deal. Yeah. Anything else?
Nope. All right. It's been nice talking to everybody.
Yeah. See ya. Peace out. There's the concert at the White House. I'm not a big UFC fan, but Freedom 250. Hey, America 250. That's good.
I don't know most of what's going on. I don't care for watching the news, really.
Yeah, it's just I was actually watching some golf and they mentioned it. I wasn't watching the news.
Sports news. I'm out. Like, I don't know. Sometimes I like to watch a few things sports wise, but most often I'd rather, if I'm not there in attendance, I don't really care to watch it on TV.
Yeah. So, if I flip on a game, even just for this long, the tolerance is this long.
Well, why should I have to sit there and watch it?
You don't. You don't.
It's not my fault we don't have a second TV. I personally think every house should have 2 living rooms. 2.
Well, we do have 2 TVs. But the other TV doesn't have the same access to all the channels that the main one has.
Anyway, perfect house has 2 living rooms or lots of different spaces for everybody to do their different stuff. That's the one thing that's bad about having a small house or even living in an RV is there's not different spaces for different things. If 2 people enjoy doing all the same stuff all the time together, sweet. But I don't know in too many cases that exists. And I don't think any one person should have to give up their identity to make the other person happy. So, yeah, space is good.
All right. Retirement planning. Did you want to get into retirement planning?
Planning? No. Oh. I just want to know if you wanted to talk about retirement and what you think about it.
Well, I think it's good. I think you need to have a plan when you retire.
And I think that I thought it was going to be a lot funner than it really is. Most days I find it pretty boring, or it's like this hit or miss mess. Either you're doing way so much or you're doing nothing.
Or you're doing nothing. Yeah.
And when you're doing way so much stuff, you're not getting paid for any of it. And it's backbreaking for me anyway. Yeah. But I don't know. When I was working, I thought, oh, I can't wait to be retired. It's going to be so much fun. I'm going to do all this traveling. I'm going to do all this stuff. And then everything's so expensive that you don't get to do all the things you thought you were going to do.
Yeah, you don't realize how expensive it is to just drive a motorhome around in the United States. It's expensive.
Especially when the gas is so high.
Yeah.
So that's a bummer.
It's starting to come back down, though. But, I haven't noticed the diesel coming down much. Regular gas is coming down. The diesel, you remember when diesel engines came out and everybody was buying a diesel? They were buying them because the gas was cheaper than regular gas. Diesel was about $1 cheaper than regular gas. Now those two have switched places, and I don't understand why. I don't get it. It costs more money to refine regular gas than it does diesel. So, yeah, I think it's the pricing of diesel is government control over your behaviors. They really don't want you to have a diesel. So if you're going to have one, you're going to pay for it. That's what they're saying. But, that's higher than me. I can't fix it. But we do expect to be getting on the road soon. We're talking about a week trip here or there through the summer. You do have your son coming to visit. So we'll be here for that, of course. But we were looking at...
It'd be awkward if we weren't.
Yeah. we were looking at Sweetwater, Tennessee area, but the campgrounds there are pretty pricey. I'm not sure why. We may have to get further away from Knoxville to get a better deal there because it's pretty close to Knoxville and Pigeon Forge and that whole tourist area. But I'm still looking. I'd also like to get out to the Outer Banks. There's a fam camp on Camp Lejeune. I know we've mentioned that before that we'd like to go out there, and it's pretty cheap to camp out there, and there's a lot to see out there. So I think that would be fun, driving through the hills of North Carolina. I think that would be fun, East Tennessee. We were, so if you have any, like if you live in that area or those are areas that you're very familiar with, feel free to drop us a line and let us know some must-see places along the way. That would be appreciated. I have been out to Kill Devil Hills and that area of North Carolina before, but I was very young when I was there, so I don't really remember much about it. We were working out this week at Arnold Air Force Base, which we typically do go out there 3 days a week. And they had a lightning storm move in, and the alarm system that they have goes off and goes.
That thing is so loud.
It's very loud. Warning, lightning detected within 10 miles of your location or the installation, I think it actually says, and it repeats it several times. Take cover. I'm like, whoa, it's lightning. But one time we decided to go out, and because we usually work out inside and then we go on the back behind the building, there's a track, not an open track. It's like a rural trail in the woods. It's mostly shaded if it's not completely shaded. So we like to do a little walk back there after a workout. And one time we got caught in the rain. It was during one of the warnings, and it's like, I think we can make it back. And then we didn't. We got caught in the rain. So
yeah, that was pretty bad.
The first time. The second time, we decided to
running, and of course it starts when I'm all the way at the back of the track.
Back end, yeah.
So I had to turn around and run back to the gym. So I'm not a runner either. So I am not a runner.
You're not a runner. It's one loop around. It's curvy and a little hilly, but it's 1 mile and 3/4.
That was crazy.
So if you get stuck on the back of that during a storm, you have about a half a mile to get
And there's
back.
a window inside of the gym that looks out onto the track.
Yeah.
And the last time we were in the gym and that alarm went off, one of the ladies in there was like, "Are you going to go out?" And I thought she was talking about out there. And I'm like, "No, last time it didn't work out too well. And I had to run back." She goes, "Yeah, I was in here watching you through the window." And I'm like, "Oh, that must have been a spectacle to see." Because I am not a runner. So she was just laughing. So
we decided to do the indoor work. They do have a whole line of ellipticals.
Learn the lesson.
Treadmills and stuff too. So
it's an important thing in life. Learn your lessons. Don't keep repeating the same mistakes.
Yeah.
It doesn't end up well.
We really like that fitness center though, because if you have 15 people in there, it's crowded. Like it's normally, a lot of times it's either just you or maybe 5 people is usually what it is. And everybody's really nice, and there's lots of equipment. There's probably 40 pieces of equipment in there, if not more. And there's lots of room, and they have everything you need.
But if you get in there when it's full, and it's always full of all the contractor dudes, and it's mostly guys that are in there, guys are funny when they work out, and you would expect this from women, but it's the guys. They're like in these little groups, and there's like 2 or 3 of them, and they stand at the equipment and they take turns, and they're yip yapping and this and that. And it's just like, it's funny to watch because you would think it was the women supposed to be like that. But I noticed when I worked at the post office, that's how the guys were too there. They would all go eat lunch together in the break room. The women were like, "We'll eat while we're delivering. We just got to keep going." The guys are like, shuffling through, just taking their time, sitting down in the men's club, having their lunch. It was always pretty funny. So I'm like, I thought chicks were supposed to do that. Yeah. I said, "Oh, look, the dudes club for lunch." Yeah. My son was part of that club too. he went to have lunch with them every day like that. And I'm like, y'all are weird. But anyway, yeah, guys are clicky like that. So it can be hard to get on some of the equipment though when it's so full of the guys like that because they congregate around all the good equipment.
Yeah.
So it's like you kind of, when I first get in there and it's empty, I go to the places that I know when they all get in there, they're going to congregate around so that I don't have to fight to get in there amongst all of them. So
Yeah.
that's my plan of action when I get in there. Not that you can tell I go to the gym 3 times a
People
week.
say we need a part-time job or to volunteer, and we have considered that. But if you do that, then you're stuck. Now you can't really travel because you have an obligation. So yeah, so then there's that. You don't want to start a job and then decide a couple months into it, oh, by the way, we're going to travel. Sorry, we're going to be taking off a couple months. That's not really fair to the employer. But yeah, but volunteering is something certainly we could do. And we went on a hike yesterday with the outreach World Outreach Church that we attend here in Murfreesboro, and they had a group come down. Actually, it's in Manchester, not that far from here, and we hiked together. That was pretty fun.
That was real fun.
Yeah, it was a park we had been to one time before, but we did see new things.
Yeah, because we walked for over 2 hours.
Yeah,
and it was pretty humid out, so it was a good workout. I was sweating, and it was pretty challenging because the woman who runs the group, she's in excellent shape.
Yeah.
And so she's a hiker, and she challenged us for sure. And it's good because sometimes you don't push yourself as much as other people will push you. So that's another thing why it's good to hang out with people and not be by yourself all the time, because good friends and good groups of people will push you to do better and be better. And that's an important thing in life. I know that's another thing too with living in this area, and the whole retirement thing is I don't have any family here. I don't have any friends here. So it kind of makes it hard to be social like you used to be when you're around all these people. So it just added another element because I don't like to be around too big of groups of people anymore. These days, people, to be honest, they worry me. I have crowd anxiety, and I get anxiety just because of the different situations of what we've had to deal with different people, or what I've had to deal with different people in my life and all the stuff recently. So I'm very guarded. So I don't just go hang out with anybody.
Yeah. And the people that we were around in Otter Creek, and Robert Jones in the chat, he says he kind of misses you being the mayor.
Oh, well, thank you. I
do too.
I enjoyed part of it, but like I've said a bunch of times, the upsetting part to me about the whole thing of being mayor was that the people in the town really didn't
appreciate it,
rally around to get the change that they deserve and could have had if different people would have just stepped up to the plate. So you're kind of left with who you're left with. It's the same, I guess, in any government situation. If people don't run for it, you have who you have to deal with. But there was good people in the town that would have helped tremendously to have things run the right way.
But
they didn't want to get involved, and they didn't want to be on the board. And I didn't understand, because it's not like that took that much time out of your life. It took an incredible amount of time out of my life, because I was doing a lot more than being mayor and trying to fix a situation. But it was something I took on, not even knowing how much time it was going to take, but knowing that it was going to take some amount of time. But you kind of have to do that if you want to change anything. So it just made me upset that these people didn't want to get involved, and we could have been a great team to get so much accomplished So that was the depressing part of it. It was almost like when you're banging your head against the wall and you can't really get anything accomplished like you need to or want to. And it would have been for the better of the whole town to get those things accomplished. So
Yeah.
that was the bummer of the situation. And honestly, I don't know what's going on in the town now. And I don't really talk to anybody about the town. So I don't know where anything lies. And I know I don't think anybody records any meetings, which is exactly how they want it.
That's what they want.
And, I think that there could be a better board
if more people
current time.
Yeah, if more
even.
people got involved, because
So that's
by
sad.
by not getting involved, you're letting the one or two people run the town. Is what's happening. So hopefully you like it, because if you don't like it, you're not willing to change it. I don't know what to tell you.
And this is the one thing too, I just recently, maybe even today, heard on one of the news clips you were watching or even a show. It was a show that we were watching. People don't realize that the good outnumber the bad.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't step up
Right.
as the good as a whole, you can't change anything. So in essence, you just let the bad people do whatever they want by default. So that's a bummer, because there is all over the planet much more good than bad. But people got to realize that and kind of work together.
And that's what I like about this church too, and the Meadowbrook Church down in Florida was they are actionable churches. They don't just talk and teach the gospel, but they kind of expect you to step up and play your part. And I like that. I mean,
Well,
they
everybody
kinda push
should
you.
get more involved.
Mhm.
I know it's hard. It's hard to do that, step out of your comfort zone.
It is.
Again, it's like what I just talked about, how I am kind of guarded. You have to put yourself out there and not worry so much about everybody else's reaction of what you're doing and saying. But at the end of the day, know that
You're
God
doing
is the one whose reaction you need to be, I don't want to say worried about, but concerned about and thinking about.
and not be so concerned about other people's opinions, because those are just opinions.
At the end of the day, you need to do the right thing. We always don't do the right thing because we're human beings and everybody's sinful by nature. But you should be trying to improve yourself every day, for sure.
Yeah.
And it's just doing as best you can. I don't want to try to get off on a tangent, so I'm trying to reel it in.
That's all right.
So
that's good.
But yeah, there was good times with that, and I miss a lot of people, but that's life, and you have seasons in life, and people are in your life during different seasons. And sometimes when you change, I know when I was at the post office, there was a lot of people I was very close to while we were working together. And then when we weren't working together anymore, it kind of just fades out because everybody gets so busy with different stuff and you're not near them anymore. So it's not as convenient.
Mm-hmm.
So even though you're still friends, I mean, any one of them, I could pick up the phone today and we would have a conversation just like it was yesterday that we talked. They're great people. But that's just the way life goes sometimes. If you're not right there, then there's a distance that's created.
I don't know if this is something you even want to talk about. We didn't talk about this beforehand, and so if that's not something, you just tell me.
Okay. Oh, Lord.
But I believe it was mentioned, and I won't even say who, you know who. Do you feel like during your tenure working with the town that you felt like you were being used at all by anyone or any group, or do you not want to talk about that? Because that's come up before, but we didn't really talk about it much. Do you feel like you were being used?
Well, I think there's different people that want different things.
And
I mean, surely
And some things we did, I know I did, benefited them.
I mean, there's always people that have motive and certain reasons that they want certain people, and because they think that they'll be more in their favor for certain things. Or, I mean, that's just like if you were, for example, asking somebody for advice with a problem. If this is somebody that you know that's not a very neutral person, they're going to give you diluted advice, that
biased,
biased advice, that because they may not want you doing certain things because it benefits them. So people always have some kind of motives for different stuff. Doesn't mean it's bad, though.
No,
it doesn't mean it's bad, but it's the same as you voting for somebody. You align with them and you see that those things are going to be in your life's favor in the way you view things. So you vote for that person because of that.
Right.
I mean, I do feel that there's certain board members specifically that wanted me on that board, as well as some that did not.
Yeah.
That's the only way I can answer that question is I do feel that there were some specific board members that wanted me on there.
I mean, if I think the obvious, and I'll say this, I don't really care to hurt somebody's feelings, but I think Zim benefited greatly from you picking him to be on the board. Now,
well, I didn't pick him to be on the board.
Not to
the
be
people
on
in the
board.
Town picked him,
right? But to be your assistant mayor, vice mayor, and then it turns out.
Well, I didn't. That was. I know
we didn't. We didn't know.
It
was a vote, and we didn't know things were going to work out the way they did.
Again, if you don't have different choices, you can only
say that.
Pick the best of what's there.
Of what's there.
Or what you perceive to be the best of what's there.
Right.
You can't make things appear that aren't there. I would have loved a numerous of people to have run for that board. I would have loved the Hudson sisters to have been on the board. I could have worked well with them. They had the town's best interest like I did. We aligned in that fashion, and that's why you should be on the board, was the town's best interest.
And then
they didn't have motive. They just wanted good for the people. So I would have loved for them to have been on the board, but they never wanted to be on the board. So you can't make them. So you deal with what you get.
You got to deal with what you got to play the cards you have. Yeah.
But I would have loved for any of them to have been on the board then, or present day even would be great, because you always want the best for the town and the people.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot more here that I could say, but I don't think it would be beneficial to do so. So just read between the lines. I just kind of wanted to toss that and see how you were going to handle it.
Okay.
But I wanted to go off on another subject, if I may. Was there anything else you want to talk about before I dive into this soapbox?
Go right ahead.
So I'm going to kind of start in reverse order. Florida, as I understand it, is a no income tax state, much like Tennessee. And there are, I believe, 6 states that don't have an income tax. They have already passed the Senate and the House. I hope I'm not misspeaking. This is what I've read, that they are looking to abolish the property tax too. Now, if they do that, everybody's like, oh yeah, property tax is going away. Be careful what you wish for, voters in Florida, because you may like the property tax going away, but you're not going to like what comes next. They're going to have to replace that income with something. You can't have no income tax and no property tax and them not touch your sales tax. I guarantee you your sales tax is going to more than double. Guarantee you. And your insurances are just going through the roof because of all the hurricanes and storms. it's going to get very expensive to live in Florida, and in some places it already is because of those facts.
Yeah, sales tax is one of those things that people don't really think about too much. And I
Right.
know
Because it's pennies.
in Tennessee, there's a high sales
There
tax.
is.
So, and there's a food tax, which in Florida didn't have. And I just thought, hey, I didn't really think about anybody else having one or not having one because you just take it for granted and assume everybody has it that way. So, yeah, that's been a difference is the higher sales tax here. So I know every time you're going to make a purchase, you're like, that kind of hurts. So
Jason jumped in with his 5. Thank you, Jason. He says that a sales tax would be better all around. I don't think you have much control over a sales tax, though. And the sales tax doesn't ever go to the people for a vote. Not enough of it does.
I have with the sales tax, though, is I feel like they'll be collecting way more money on sales tax than they would have on the property. And as we all know, we don't know what all the government does with the different monies.
You don't.
Although you think there's all these transparencies, especially the higher up it goes, there's not. Like we all found out during the Doge was uncovering stuff, all that money that was being sent to other countries for ridiculous things. And did you approve that? I know I did not.
I didn't.
But I know my money went to that.
Yeah.
And you don't ever see stuff trickling down the way it should. So, and there's going to be a lot more people paying that sales tax than just the property owners, because now you got whoever's visiting the state, the people that are renters. There's so many things. I think they'll be collecting a lot more money that way. And my biggest thing is just that I don't feel like they use it properly.
And you can't control the limit. Like Florida's across the board state tax is 6%. And then the municipalities and the counties add to it. So just like we tried, didn't you try to, well, we did, we talked it, we didn't try to do it because the people of Otter Creek didn't vote for it or they wouldn't support it. And that was to unincorporate the town. That would have eliminated a town tax.
Well, there was talk about it, and that was brought on not by me, but by the people in the town. I believe Gail.
Gail started it.
If it wasn't Gail who started it, it was Dawn. Who's the both of them were the ones talking about. And years before, Russell sent out a petition about it.
He tried to do it too.
It unincorporated when he wasn't in charge.
Right.
So
and whoever's in charge never wants to do that because they're in charge.
And that's the unfortunate thing too about that town is the millage rate needed to be raised because they don't even have enough money to provide the services that they're required to provide as a town. So you end up paying more money to live in a smaller town like that because they need a lot more funds because there's less people contributing. I don't even know how they can continue to run without providing the services necessary. I suppose the only real reason is that the people in the town don't complain and the people in the state and county are glad they don't have to hear about it. So it just functions as it functions. But you're paying more to live in those smaller towns that provide you with nothing and bad water.
Now, here's the thing with property tax. There are some people that are supporting the sales tax. We have other arguments for keeping the property tax. Florida
I think they should do something with it for the people over a certain age shouldn't have to pay it.
Yes, you can write in all these provisions. So the people that weren't paying tax anyway, now who would those people be? Maybe disabled veterans. I don't remember in Florida what all the rules are for the elderly, like over 65, if they had to pay or a reduced amount. But like hardly anybody in Otter Creek was paying any property tax. And you know why? That's because they have this thing called a homestead exemption. and you could get up to $50,000 reduced off the price of your house that was taxed. What it does is reduce the taxable value of your house. Well, most of the homes in Otter Creek did not even value to $50,000. Therefore, they're paying no tax. Now, what actually happens is it's the first $25,000 is tax free. The second $25,000 is only the school tax. They don't exempt that part, but you're still exempted the city tax and the municipal tax or whatever. But yeah, so there's a huge exemption for people in the lower income.
There's no easy answer to any of it, because I get it. You don't want to continue paying property taxes because essentially it's like you never really own your house, right?
So there's going to be people.
You also need to pay to improve the town you're in because you want different services. So it's no easy thing. And when the different government entities are wasting the money essentially and not doing what they should be doing with it, that is the real problem. That is the real problem right there.
Right.
So there's no easy answer for how anything should be done. And they surely should give lots of thought to it and not be so greedy with what they do with the different monies.
So Levy County, I think I wrote it down. I wanted to compare where we lived against where we live now and just kind of compare it.
Tax-wise?
Tax-wise. So the real estate property taxes there in Florida, in Levy County, can range anywhere from 0.74% to 1.089%. Okay, so that's 75% to almost, well, it's 0.74% to 1.0. Okay, so basically that range. Here we pay 0.5. So we pay almost half amount in property tax. Now, we don't have a homestead exemption tax here. We don't have a homestead exemption here in Tennessee. But the property taxes here are very reasonable.
And some states do not have reasonable taxes, and I understand that completely.
Right.
And I often say, I don't know how people can live in those different states. It's so high. So I know I've seen some comment about that, and I completely understand that.
I just wouldn't live in those places. Like, I listened to this podcast from this real estate lady who's in New Jersey. That's a very high cost of living area. And she mentioned a $1 million house, you're going to pay $8,000 a year in taxes. $8,000 a year?
That's insane. And nowadays, it really doesn't take much to have $1 million house. Have you seen the house prices? They're out of control.
$1 million house, I don't think anymore is above and beyond. Like, I don't think that's like
it's above and beyond what I want to pay.
Right.
Is what it is.
It is. It is.
It's more reasonable to run into these days than not to. Your average house, it seems now, is around $400,000. He listens to these real estate podcasts so much. I wonder if he's going to sell the house the next day. I don't know what's going on. It's a very unstable feeling.
It's information. I can't sell the house without you agreeing to it. I'm not looking to sell. But everybody who's buying a house buys it with no intent to sell. You don't know what's going to happen. I mean, if I die next year, are you going to stay here? Probably not.
No, this isn't my dream house.
Yeah, so you'll leave, see? So this house could be sold anytime.
I'd rather have a bigger piece of property with a lot more privacy.
Yeah.
The house doesn't particularly need to be bigger. I would like a little more space, though, in this house. I've said that before. Not crazy bigger, but a little more space.
Yeah, we're just under 1,000
I absolutely would love a lot more privacy.
Yeah.
I think privacy is priceless.
We're a little too close to the main road here. And this is just the subdivision road. It's not a main road. It's not a thoroughfare road. It's an in and out road.
I've obviously lived in worse places.
There is a lot of traffic on this road, especially on Fridays and Sundays. They're all coming to the lake house from Nashville, and then on Sunday they're all leaving and going back.
I never saw myself in a lake house type of neighborhood. That was never on my target list. So, it's an experience. But
But during the week, I mean, it's usually very quiet.
Hey, you asked the question, I'm
Right.
just answering,
No, I
and
know.
that's my honest answer.
I would get a house that's further off the road. If you could take this house and move it down the hill, maybe 500 feet, then you wouldn't get any of that road noise because the hill would take over the house instead of the house on top of the hill. But that's my only real drawback, I think. I mean, I like most of it.
Like I said, I've lived in worse places.
Yeah. So, getting back to the taxes, I really think the way they tax it here is they do an appraisal here, the county, and they do it in Florida that way too. The county appraiser comes out and routinely appraises the property. Okay. And then there's a rebuttal process if you don't agree with his assessment as a process. And in the two states, they're pretty similar. Here, though, they do mandate every 4 to 6 years, they do a reappraisal. I don't know if that's the case in Florida. But they do one here every 4 to 6 years. And it's a formula that they use for residential and farm property. The appraised value is 25% of the appraisal. So it's only like 25% of the value of your house that's actually being appraised. And for commercial and industrial, it's 40%. So it's much more simpler here and straightforward because they don't have the homestead thing. Now, Florida has the homestead thing. Now, what's going to happen to all those people, like most of those people in Otter Creek that have a house that's valued at $75,000 or less, or $50,000 or less, and they're paying almost nothing or nothing in property tax? Guess what? The sales tax is going to replace it. You're going to pay that. So you're catching all those people.
Everything's like a double-edged sword. I mean, there's good, there's bad.
Right.
It's so hard. What do you think about having to pay taxes on schools when you don't have any children in the schools? Do you think you should have to do that?
I don't.
I mean,
no, I don't.
There's a lot of, especially again with the elderly people, retirement people, like you're on a fixed income and now you're having to pay different taxes for things that you don't even have children reaping the benefits thereof. So I don't know, it's a tough one for sure. And I just say if there wasn't so much greed, there wouldn't be so many problems. But do you think you're ever going to stop that?
No. I just think Florida, you need to be careful if you're a voter there and you decide.
Everywhere. Really?
Well, yes. But I'm talking about something we know about.
I'm just telling people they should read and be
informed. Need to read the provision when it comes out. You actually need to read it because on its surface, it sounds like great. No income tax, no property tax. Sounds great. Yeah, but wait for the other shoe to drop.
I just don't ever trust them. Like if they're presenting something to you that is going to be beneficial to you, you're like,
it's too good to be true.
What's back there?
Yes.
Because they're always like, look over here and don't look over here.
Don't look over here.
So I'm always like, I don't know.
See, the only tax here that's high is the sales tax. But I was less concerned about the sales tax because you have some say in a sales tax. You can buy that onion or you can decide not to buy that onion if it's a food. Now, I don't agree with Tennessee's food tax. I think they need to get rid of it. They've been talking about it.
Yeah,
it's not much, and it's not all the food, and it's not all taxed the same. I think
it's horrible that food is taxed.
There's not many states left that still tax food, and Tennessee's one of them, regrettably. But yeah, Tennessee, wake up. Don't tax food. Get it somewhere else. So they do have a 7% statewide sales tax here. It's higher than Florida by 1%. But then you kick in the city, the counties, and the municipalities you live in. Now, we don't live in the downtown area of Vestal Springs, so we do not have a town tax. We are outside the city limits. We do have a county tax, Franklin County, but it is one of the lowest counties in the area, in the state, because it's a very rural county. The biggest city in the county is not more than, I think, 6,000 or 7,000 people. That's it. So it's rural. It's a rural county. But we're close to cities. We're close to Tullahoma. We're 10 minutes away. We're close to Winchester. We're close to Lynchburg, but we're not in them. Therefore, we don't pay any of those taxes, but we have the benefits of traveling to them within 10 minutes. So I think that's the best of both worlds, is to not live in Otter Creek, but to live outside of Otter Creek in this case, and just pay the county tax. But had the town supported getting rid of that town tax, they would have gotten rid of it. And I think what would have happened with the water is it would have fell on Bronson. The same guy, Lonnie, would have still been taking care of the water. The town of Bronson would have been paying him instead of Otter Creek paying him. And then the billing would have went to Bronson. And you might have had drinkable water faster if it was Bronson doing it. But I digress.
Do you?
So,
Do you?
yep, taxes. So what I was saying about the tax here, the sales tax here, it's as much as a 9.25% in Tullahoma. But the options that I have,
Ouch.
it is high. So the options that I have is I use Marketplace a lot. I do that because there's no sales tax. We do estate sales. We do that because you find things at a good deal. And guess what? There's no sales tax. So these are ways to get around that sales tax. Another way is to shop in the commissary. The commissary does not have a sales tax. So those are ways you can get around it. Now, the people that live up on the Kentucky border, they could go into Kentucky and buy their food there. Kentucky does not have a food tax because they have an income tax and a property tax. It's a commonwealth like Virginia, so they have all kinds of taxes, but they don't have any on food. So if you're in Tennessee and you visit Kentucky and buy food in Kentucky and come back, you're probably getting your food cheaper. I think Tennessee just needs to, they talk about it, they haven't done it. So, yeah.
I don't know. It's a weird world.
It is, yeah. So, when you
got
pick
people fighting about data centers going in everywhere.
Nashville's fighting
And-
one. They're trying to put one in next to the zoo.
I know. And that's made national news.
Yeah.
The things I've read about them, you're just like,
There's nothing good about them.
doesn't seem to be.
No.
And then I read, I don't know if that was just a baloney article or not. I saw something about, I don't know if it was China or where they were looking to do data centers in the water, in the ocean, to keep it cool. But wouldn't that affect
like an oil rig?
the
Put a data center
ocean?
out over the ocean?
Well, put it underwater so the
Oh.
water would help cool it. But
You're still warming the earth. Isn't
you're
that a
warming?
problem?
Yeah. So I'm like, that doesn't sound like that would be any
Isn't that
better because
kind
you're
of
also affecting the temperature of the water, the animals that live in the water. Like, how's that make it any better? So I don't know if that was a real deal article, if that was just baloney or what, but
Yeah, I don't know why they require so much
Oh,
cooling.
there's so much stuff going on.
Yeah, they also suck power and they suck resources out of the areas that they put them. The road taxes, the schools, and I don't know that they employ that many people. I think it's just storage media. I don't think it's a lot of employment that's coming to the area with these now. I could be wrong, but you're sucking a whole lot of resources out of a small area, but you're not really giving anything back, like jobs. Yeah, be careful what you vote for, Florida. I would be very skeptical about supporting a no property tax, especially if your property tax is very manageable, because they can't raise property tax values more than a certain percent every year. There's kind of a governor on how much they can, raise it. But sales tax, man, they can just go boom. It can go from, what is it in Levy County? If it's 6% state, and then you have a 2% county, and then you have the city of Chieflands, another whatever, you might end up be paying 8 or 9%. Expect it to go to 16%. That's my say. You're going to go, oh, no way. Yeah, watch, because they're losing a ton. They're losing billions of dollars if they get rid of property tax. Think of all the towns and cities that are on the ocean and how much property tax they're giving up on the rich people. Just saying, they're going to have to make it up somewhere. Sales tax. They're trying to tax the people that are tourists, but they're also hurting their own citizens too. They're hurting the lower income people who ain't paying the property tax much anyway. And the rich people that have businesses there, or they have second homes there and they live out of state, they don't get the homestead deduction anyway. So they're paying maximum tax. So they would love to have property taxes go away. And what's going to happen too, what you don't see is going to happen, is that there's no income tax and no property tax. So what are people going to do in these higher cost states? They're going to flock to Florida just like they do just like they do now, really. They're flocking to Florida. Home values are going to go through the roof because supply and demand. There'll be more demand for more houses and not enough houses to give the people they want. So you have bidding wars on these houses. So property values go up, but there's no tax on those property values anymore, remember? So you're going to have house shortages. It's going to cause a big mess. Mark my word, it's going to cause a big mess. If there's no property tax in Florida, it's going to come out of somewhere. And I think your sales tax is going to hit hard. It ain't just going to hit out of state. It's going to make everybody want to leave because it costs too much to buy goods and services there anymore.
Maybe they need to dismantle the system.
Yeah, I think they're taking some drastic measures by getting rid of an entire tax base. I mean, why don't you just tweak it a little bit?
There's a lot of things that need a lot of overhaul.
Yeah. So I don't know.
It's a real downer.
I'm just reading some of the chats here.
Gallbladder issues. Sorry to hear that, Virginia. I know how much fun that is. I had to have mine removed years ago because I had so many issues.
Yeah.
I was working at the post office when I had that surgery done, and I had to stay out of work a little bit longer than I thought because it was pretty bad.
Yeah, Florida has a thing called SOH. It's called Save Our Homes. Sounds good, doesn't it? But it actually puts in a protection. It says the tax cannot increase more than 3% annually. Now, 3% is pretty big. So by them guaranteeing that they're not going to raise it by more than 3% per year, that's not really giving you much protection. Because even if they increase it 3% every year for 3 years, you've just increased it 9%. That's a big number in just a short period of time, I think. So I don't think the safeguard in that plan is, I don't know all of it. I didn't read all the weeds, but just read it. People, before you go pull a lever or check the box and vote, go read it. Make sure you understand what it's saying. No property tax. What's it going to equal later? They're going to replace that money with something. And we think sales tax is where it's going to go. We think the sales tax is going to go through the roof to make up for it, like more than double. And Florida doesn't have like the options, like to be able to go to the next state to buy something if you live on the border. You only have Alabama and Georgia. The whole rest of the state is too far away from a neighboring state to even consider that as an option. So if you're in South Florida, you're stuck buying whatever South Florida offers you. That's it. And
Cafe con leche.
Even if you order it on Amazon or something and have it shipped to you, they're going to still charge you the Florida sales tax. So you can't escape it. At least Tennessee is bordered by 8 other states. If you live on the border of Tennessee, which is not that hard to do, we live on the Alabama border of Tennessee. It's not much to go into Alabama if it was much cheaper there, but it's not. Their state sales tax is less, like 4%, but their city tax is way more. So going into Huntsville doesn't save us any money. I think it's actually more. But so yeah, you got to strategically pick the places that you want to live based on your future income potential, not just what you're making today, but what are you going to make after retirement? Is it going to be enough to support where you live? Like the people that live in these high tax areas, New York City and New Jersey and California, and you're retired, why? Why don't you leave? You would make the same money if you lived in some other city with way less tax. Why do you stay there? I don't know. I'm willing to up and relocate to go somewhere that costs what I think it should cost. I'm not tied to a place where I have to live there no matter what they charge. I will absolutely leave. So
I think it's sad for people, especially in California, because what a beautiful state.
Yeah.
I mean, they have some amazing things to see with the mountains and the beaches, and it's just horrible that it's getting ruined. I feel bad for those people.
Yeah, it costs too much to
Who wants to have to leave the state they grew up in? But
who wants to pay $7 a gallon for gas? I mean, that's insane. That's misuse. And California has its own fuel. They have their own oil refineries there.
I would love to visit.
I think Chevron's in California. Why is their prices so much higher? They can refine their own oil. You have so many resources in California, and it's been so abused for so long. You don't even notice it. I wish somebody could fix it because it's I don't know. I don't know what to say about it. It's disheartening. I hope someone can fix it. But
Jesus is the only one who's
Yeah.
going to fix everything.
yeah,
I tried out that curler again since I cut my hair shorter because I bought that curler because Deanna had that automatic curler and she was showing it to all of us. And I'm like, oh, I got to get one of those. And it didn't work very good on my hair. So I stuffed it in a drawer. But I just remembered today, I'm like, I haven't tried that since I cut my hair again.
I think it
I
looks
don't know.
nice. I like it.
I don't know if I like the curl better or the crimper that I did the last couple of times.
I think you look
So,
nice.
but it's a real pain in the butt doing all that stuff, I think.
Janice was saying they live in one county, and if they work in another county, they have taxes taken out in that other county. Yeah,
It's crazy.
yeah.
It's a weird world.
So yeah, taxes are another thing that gets people riled up. I mainly just wanted to say it looks like this is going to happen in Florida because I believe it's already passed
Well,
the Senate and the House, and it's going to the ballot box. And what do you think the voters are going to do? Most voters, I'm not going to put a percent on it, but way more voters are uninformed than I would think the people in the House and Senate are. Like they understand it. They're just voting against it anyway because of some other agenda. But most of the voting public in every state, doesn't matter where you live, most of them are uninformed. They go there because of someone they know or something they saw on TV or something they looked up. But I guarantee if this goes to the voters of Florida, I almost guarantee it's going to pass, like a 60% chance it's going to pass.
I hope and pray for all the people that no matter what happens, that better things will happen for the people at some point.
And we'll sit back and watch Florida because we want to see what happens to the sales tax when they do that.
Well, I hope and pray for good things, not bad things.
Well, I do too, but maybe they'll put it back and undo it. But who knows?
I would hope so.
New York's in the house. Well, hello, New York.
New York.
I'm sorry about your taxes. I didn't do it.
But I love your pizza.
Got good pizza.
I haven't been to New York in a long time. That was a fun trip.
I've never been on the ground in New York. I've only flown through JFK.
I had a good time when we went there. I was working at the post office, so we only had a short window because you weren't allowed off Mondays and you weren't allowed off Saturdays. So we went Tuesday through Friday. So it was really rushed.
And
But
Janice,
it was fun.
I'd like to get up there, Janice, and see Michigan, but I'm really only interested in the Upper Peninsula part of Michigan. But again, fuel prices need to come down. I wish they'd fix a few other things up there in Minneapolis and Michigan. But we'll see what happens. But I would like to visit UP.
I would like to go to my friend Darren's pizza place in New Jersey. I know that he's got some good pizza there.
I'm sure he does.
Up the Creek, it's called.
Oh,
yeah.
Up the Creek, man. We just gave you a tagline. So if you're in New Jersey, visit Up the Creek. They had good food down in Florida, right? So I'd imagine it's even better now.
Yeah, it's
All the
in
experience
his
they got
blood. And his wife makes award-winning cheesecake. So,
wow.
like, they are the dynamic duo.
Cheesecake and pizza. How can you go wrong?
I would really like to go visit and eat some of their stuff. When he worked at the pizza place in Florida, the garlic rolls were the best. And they still are the best I've ever had.
Yeah.
Garlic. Lots of garlic. Good stuff. But yeah, I'd love to go back to New York because they got good food there.
Hey, excuse me, Janice, up in the UP, they got loons up there in the summertime. We'll get loons down here, but not very often. It's very infrequent that we'll get them, and it has to be colder.
So mostly get loonies.
Yeah, we got those. But
loonies.
We do feel 100% safer living here than we lived in Otter Creek, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's a rough place.
yeah, it's kind of a rough
If
place.
you know, you know.
Yeah, but
So,
it's everybody here is more than friendly. There's just a lot of traffic on this road because the lake. So the lake has its good and its bad points. It brings
yeah,
traffic
like I
on the
said, I've lived
weekends.
in worse places,
Yeah,
but I was just saying if I was buying my dream place, that would be the criteria.
yeah. Our next place, we might actually. We've been watching this show called "We Bought the Farm," and we like some of those places where you buy a farm.
Hmm.
You get some good, pretty property that's a lot cheaper and out in the country, and you can have animals and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, so that
You
would be
can
neat.
get your own cow.
Well, I never really considered buying a farm, but I'm definitely not against it either. I didn't know they listed
I've
farms
always wanted
separately.
a farm.
I grew up on a farm, so I don't know why I didn't really think about it.
When I was growing up, I thought it would be cool to own a big farm type of property and have a campground on it,
Mm-hmm.
but it would be more of an exclusive campground
Oh yeah,
where friends and family could come, kind of like also a mixture of a family compound type of thing. And you have everybody living on that land helping each other.
yeah,
That's
that
what I
was your
always
plan, yeah.
thought would be the dream way to live.
But you didn't have enough people that were going to benefit helping you with that plan. But that's all I had in my notes.
All right.
Do you guys have anything in the chat you'd like to contribute to the conversation before we peace out? So we don't know when we're going to do these lives. It won't be every week. It'll just be we'll post it in time so you can catch it, but it won't be like probably once a month or so until we hit the road. Now, if we hit the road, it might pick up because there'll be more things to talk about.
I know you got to do some members only this week.
Yeah, we fell behind on that.
You better get on it.
Hello, Gates.
I try to keep a written schedule kind of list, but you know.
Yep. So we don't talk on this channel too much about. Thanks, Gates Master. We hope you enjoy the videos. We do them a lot for y'all's entertainment and for our own. Sometimes we like doing them, and we don't talk too much about gossipy kind of stuff because it's just negative and it just gets people split and divided down the fence. Now, I know that the numbers were up when we were in the town and there was a lot of stuff going on and this side of the fence and that side of the fence and then all the lawsuits and we're not going to make time in our lives for that garbage. I mean, really, it's nothing. I'm going to go out on a limb. I don't think anything's going to come of any of these lawsuits. I don't have any inside information. I don't. I'm just what I read, what I hear, what I keep hearing over and over the same things. I just think it's going to end up being nothing. And the lawyers are going to get rich, and that's going to be that. And nothing's ever going to happen. Because even if a judgment is placed on these other people, I don't think it's going to get enforced. That's been a problem in Florida. I think it will continue to be a problem in Florida until they tell me something different. I don't think in Ohio it's going to be any different either. I just don't. The jurisdiction is Ohio. I could be wrong. Maybe it's a federal thing and they can go get her, but I just don't think. I'd be surprised if something actually happens outside of an inconvenience. I know who's benefiting those. The attorneys are benefiting, sending all their kids to college. But that's all I got to say on that. I could be wrong. I'll come right on here and say, hey, I was wrong. Good. I hope I'm wrong. But that's it.
I don't live in that world.
Yeah.
So I feel bad for anybody who lives in that negative world.
Yeah.
It's not easy. And the way I handle all the gossip and all the other stuff is I just pray
thanks,
for
Gates Master.
I pray for people.
The yard is looking pretty good. There's been some a lot of weed and feed going on and a lot of raining going on, and we're trying to get new trees. They're in the ground, but some of them are not. They're going through some shock, too much water and too much sun. But I think they're going to pull through because there still is some new growth, and I think the roots were treated okay. I think they're in a good place. The drainage is good, so I think they'll pull through. We do have some more tree trimming we want to do down the hill for a better view of the water, but we can't do that right now. It's too hot, it's too humid, and it's just too green. So we're going to do that in the fall. That'd be a better time to do that. But I do have some certain ones picked out. But if we have a cool spell, I might get in there and start working. But it's hot and sticky right now, and I'd just rather do it when it's cooler. And there's no rush on that. The trees aren't going anywhere, and they're not hurting anybody. So, you got anything else?
No.
I want to thank Melanie, the moderator, for taking care of us today. I appreciate that.
Yes, thank you. Good to see you and hear from you. I know we don't put out much except for the same notice everyone gets. So thank you for being on here and catching that and keeping everything drama free. We all enjoy that, I believe. Well, not everyone, but
and if any of you
guys, smart people do.
If any of you guys do want to support the channel, the best way to do that is through our eBay sales. Melanie's stuck the link in there. Appreciate that. If you find something out there you like, you'll get it at a good deal. We make a little bit of money, more than we do on eBay. I mean, more than we do on YouTube. So it does help.
That's not really hard.
No.
We don't really make much money off of the eBay or the YouTube.
No, we don't.
It's more of a hobby at this point, I would say. And that's the thing. If you don't want to live a drama life and be in the middle of all the drama, that's where you're going to see the difference, but you'll have a better quality of life. So
hard to do both.
Yeah. I personally would rather have a regular 9-to-5 job, and that's just me personally, than have to be in a drama zone all the time.
Yeah.
So, yep.
Hobbies. All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining us today. We enjoyed bringing you the updates.
And I don't know if we'll be on here again before Father's Day. So if not, happy Father's Day to all you fathers out there, or single moms doing it all.
Yep.
And maybe some people who aren't really traditional fathers, but just help other people. I thank everybody for all that you do, because it does take a village. Yep. So happy Father's Day to everyone.
And thanks for all those people that parent kids that didn't have to, the stepchildren. Kudos to you guys too, whether it's single or married couple.
Yep. Adoptive parents. Yep. I mean, that's quite an undertaking. So my hat's off to everybody who helps out, because children are really the most important thing. So I think if we had a lot more people investing in the children, it would help our world out tremendously, as well as the family unit as a whole. But don't get me off on a tangent. We're saying goodbye.
So, yeah, you're going to ramp up there.
Yep. Don't get me started on all of that. Love Jesus, love the family, and love.
Yep.
That's it.
That's all it is.
So thank you, everyone, for joining us. Thank you to all our members. We'll see you hopefully a couple of times this week. Yep. It's on my schedule anyway.
Yep.
And thank you to our subscribers. And if you're not subscribed, you should subscribe. It's free. Just hit the all notifications and hopefully you'll get notified. I know sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. Hit the thumbs up. Have an awesome day. Have an awesome month, in case it's that long since we see you again. And we love you guys. Take care of each other and do good things.
Yep. Thanks, guys. We'll see you soon.
All right. Much love.
Bye.
And peace. Anything else?
Nope.
Bacon grease?
Bacon grease. Coffee.
Always coffee. Always coffee. Maybe I don't want to go. Maybe I'll just stay on here forever.
It doesn't want to go off.
It doesn't want me to leave. I don't know what to do.
Oh, it's telling you.
No. It doesn't want us to go.
Oh, we'll just stay on then.
Oh boy,
We're trying to get logged off
what
here.
was in your coffee? I don't even know.